Hello, today I'm going to talk about Dutch Magazine, issue number 29 from 2000, issues 33, 35, and 36 from 2001, and issues 39 and 40 from 2002. Panos Yiapanis dresses models in an intriguing way. His ability to layer garments to create a multi-textural vibrancy, almost chaotic, can be fascinating to look at. It can be difficult to ascertain where one garment ends and another begins. It draws the eye in. His one-off customized pieces lend a uniqueness to his stories. His styling is devoid of any retro references and is self-referential. Photographer Corinne, along with David Sims and stylist Melanie Ward, are credited with introducing grunge into the fashion vocabulary at the dawn of the 1990s. At the end of that decade, she began working with Yiapanis. Initially, he and Day would photograph their friends in their own clothes, with Yiapanis making occasional modifications. But when Day received a commission to do a story for Dutch Magazine, a highly influential fashion magazine based in the Netherlands, which ran from 1994 to 2002, she asked Yiapanis to style it. The editorial ran in the September 2000 issue. At first glance, the images have all of the visual markers of the grunge aesthetic one would expect from a Day photograph. But upon closer inspection, there is a darker undertone. Bits of lace peek out of men's jeans, bondage straps lay across jackets, and there is a lot of black. But in one photo, a model wears a fur top, which looks to have been assembled from various pieces of sheepskin, credited as stylist own. Yiapanis' customized pieces, along with his approach to layering, would become his signature. The directional fashion magazines at that time, The Face, ID, Dutch, Arena On Plus, and Self-Service, all championed his work, thus helping to move his dark and distressed look into the mainstream. For the first 2 years of his career, he worked exclusively with Corinne. For the May 2001 issue of Dutch, Day would reunite with her favorite models from the early 1990s, including Kate Moss, in Yiapanis' longest editorial to date. Entitled British Summer Blackpool 2001, he undoubtedly impacted the fashion industry with his seamless mix of new fashion and vintage, singling him out as a new image creator. The opening image of Moss, her face framed by a parka's hood, has become somewhat emblematic of the alternative style of the early 2000s. In this editorial, his layering and distressing, like the jacket and skirt, begins to come into focus. He begins to build up a vocabulary by showing the same piece styled differently in various editorials, like this deconstructed top by Prada, this shredded lace top. In the September 2001 issue, he was given a 22-page story. It is a tour de force of layering and distressing, where he successfully subverts any fashion labels present under his signature styling. The fur top seen in the first editorial makes another appearance, along with the jacket worn as a skirt. The skirt, made out of bullets, will show up in his next editorial for Dutch. It is this editorial where he begins to explore color and the mixing of prints, which he would use to dazzling effect many years later. His first stories without Day were with photographer Richard Bush. The first, in the November 2001 issue, he created a look which seemed very close to high fashion. The fitted jacket, slim trousers, and high-heel boots worn with a heavily accessorized belt would not look out of place on Andy Muller-Meester's catwalk. The lace top is back along with the Prada top and the bullet skirt. The repetitive use of those garments gave his work a distinctiveness, as those pieces were not tied to a current season or brand, therefore they would not be seen in another stylist's work. In the May 2002 issue, his work takes a softer turn, underscored by Bush's diffused focus. The two images seen here are darkly romantic, yet retain his layered signature. In his last story, in Dutch, from July 2002, a menswear story shot by Stephen Klein, full looks appear without distressing or overt layering for the first time. It shows that he was multifaceted and could produce strong results beyond his signature. Yiapanis worked with Rick Owens for nearly 20 years. He also worked with Riccardo Tizzi and Matthew Williams at Givenchy and with Italo Zucchelli at Calvin Klein, Vera Wang, and Uma Wang.